Welcome to Games Hud's October edition of the PS Plus Roundup. Today it's myself, Ollie, and Tom.
Hiya.
And Rich.
Hello.
And Matt.
Hello.
So we're going to kick off today talking about Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, which I have never played until today.
I don't think any of us have.
Nope.
But,
Has anybody played Dark Arisen before?
It's a good question.
I think the original Dragon's Dogma, very popular in Japan,
Right.
and obviously has a good following over here. Yeah.
It looks
It
okay, doesn't
seemed
it?
pretty cool. Like I mean, I'm not big into these games, but I would say that out of all the games like this I have tried, and there's been quite a few like released over PS Plus over the last few, last year. Actually, quite an enjoyable one.
Yeah.
It's like probably more enjoyable than some of like the
Seems very
Lord of the Rings
Dungeons
games
and
or-
Dragons, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like very
it
hack
does-
and slash.
Yeah, it definitely had that like dungeon crawler like vibe to it, didn't it? Where you just sort of will spend hours and hours and hours in a dungeon trying to take out some giant beast to
Had a bit
recover.
of, like Demon Souls or
Yeah,
Dark
Dark
Souls
Souls,
sort of style to it.
Seems a lot more accessible than
Yeah.
Dark Souls for sure.
It definitely, yeah, absolutely.
It kind of looked like it was sort of almost like a cross between Skyrim and Dragon Age.
Yeah, very Dragon
Yeah.
Age-ish. Yeah, like I mean, liken it to those Lord of the Rings games that were released. I think it was earlier this year. So,
Yeah, is
it's
that
quite
like War
similar.
of the North? Is that what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
War of the North
that's it,
and
yeah.
Battle for Middle Earth, and very. Yeah.
It's not a great deal you can sort of really say about it, really, because it's either going to be one of those games which is just mash X all the way through, or it's going to end up being, something like Skyrim, where later on you're going to end up mixing spells and learning new combat
I
moves.
mean, it seems like be an interesting dynamic because there's a lot. It seemed to be when we were playing it a large party that you went around with, and you each had your own.
Yeah, and it's all online
Attribute as well.
Like not just like, do you call it NPCs? You've also got the online element to it, so you can like meet up with your friends and play through it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's quite cool.
It looks like just a big game. I think you'd be able to plough many hours into it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it gets like a lot more dramatic. Like I mean, when we first came out into like a slightly bigger area,
The dragon was massive.
massive dragon staring at us in the face. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It kind of puts
but then-
Skyrim's ones to shame a little bit.
Yeah, a
doesn't it?
little bit. Yeah,
it's
absolutely. So
massive.
that was kind of cool. But yeah, I've just found that the fighting a bit button bashy. But then that's the style of that game, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if you like that kind of game, it's definitely worth a go.
Yeah,
Wicked.
yeah. Not a bad install. I think it's about 12 gigabytes as well. So.
Yeah,
So-
12 gig. It didn't take too long to download, but took a long time to install.
I
Don't know if
think
that
we've
sounds
just
kind
got
of
a
like
rubbish PlayStation,
issue.
Rich.
An issue with that. Yeah, probably is the case. That probably is right. Yeah.
Haven't you got like Infinity as well?
Yeah, well, downloads was fine, but it's just the install. For
Yeah,
some
the
reason.
install.
I just-
Oh, right,
it just took ages to install for some reason.
Son
Don't know
of a
why, but
Just decided for that.
Next.
Cool. So next on the list is Gianni Sisters Twisted Dreams, which as soon as you put the load up screen on, the first thing we went was, oh god.
Yeah.
So colourful.
But it actually is quite clever.
yeah, good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
I'd
a
say
good platformer.
good little platformer, and it's nice and colourful, and it did play well. Like I liked, it didn't feel like overly sensitive or too slow. It's all very well balanced.
Control wise, it reminded me a lot of Little Big Planet, like jump wise.
Yes,
like the
yeah,
movement of
definitely,
your character and the fluidity of it moving from left to right, up and down, and that kind of thing. It did feel very precise, like Little Big Planet does.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
throwing in that extra dynamic as well of switching between the sisters.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see on the video,
Yeah,
it's quite a clever dynamic. I quite like it.
it's a clever
just-
idea. It's almost like there's a cute sister and there's a punk sister, and they're in like opposite worlds, aren't they? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you're just switching between them. Yeah.
It's like
And-
every man's dream, isn't it?
But I'll tell you what, the music is just dreadful.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Good
stock,
lord.
isn't it? You
Good
just went on
lord.
to like a
It's
royalty-free site and then just download the
Guitar.
first thing. It's like guitar song, like nice poppy song, and then that's it.
But I do have to say that they've done a very good job on the seamlessness of switching between the two characters,
Yeah.
and even the decal and the enemies change. So you get when you're the cute sister, you get the devils walking around. As soon as you switch over to the punk sister, everything turns into very cutesy, and there's big birds, like, you know, walking around in the place of the devils. It's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's something that I would probably play if it was on Vita, but I don't think it is, which is a shame.
No.
It's a massive shame.
It is definitely a Vita game, isn't it? You look at it, it is a game that you would take around with you. You wouldn't sit in your living room and devote your TV game time to that, really. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that it's not.
Yeah, I mean, because of all the flurry of kind of platforms coming out on Vita at the moment, you know, Guacamelee and games like that, you just, it's just a good time for it to...
It's a better home for it, isn't it? Because considering, like, you know, the next gen is looming, do I really want to sit there and play this game when I could be perhaps playing some of the bigger titles from this generation that I haven't played yet? You know, just
sort of
get them in while I can before the next gen. I don't really... in all honesty, don't really want to play this.
But if you're into cutesy platformers,
absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah, but it's still a fun game. It's still definitely worth.
Yeah. But as I say, if it was on Vita, I'm at a point now where I'm looking for something. I've just finished Killzone Mercenary, and I've also just finished a couple of others. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, just ploughing through the back catalogue, and now I'm at a point where I'm thinking, well, kind of want something
new to slot in.
Yeah,
it's the kind of sort of thing I wish my daughter was old enough to sort of start playing games with, because it's the kind of thing that I could imagine a girl getting a kick out of. So yeah. Next. So yes, the other big title with PS Plus this month is Far Cry 3.
Massive title.
That's a great giveaway there, right there. Like, just like
that's
the one
phenomenal giveaway.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's a really good giveaway for someone like me who hasn't played it.
Tumbleweed.
Everyone gets so angry about it, and it's like,
it's because it's so good.
Because we want you to play it. That's why we want you to.
I can't think what was out at the time that Far Cry came
loads.
out.
Lots of stuff. It was late last year.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I can't think what I was playing last year, but I was definitely
playing... Assassin's Creed 3?
Dishonored.
Because that's just depressing, mate.
Assassin's Creed 3, Dishonored.
Assassin's Creed 3 was definitely one of them.
What else?
COD.
I was playing Dishonored.
No, Battlefield wasn't out. I
wasn't playing
COD.
Wasn't playing COD. I was playing Resi 6.
Oh dear, mate.
The new Hitman was out.
No, I bypassed that completely.
Okay. Well, okay, you don't have an excuse.
No.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah, I definitely had something on the go that avoided me picking this up. And then obviously with the Blood Dragon download content, I just thought, well, I'll just wait until the Game of the Year edition comes out, and then PS4's in the loom. I was like, bugger. Well,
it's out on PS Plus now, and you can get it for free. So it's
PS
absolutely a must
Don't
play.
admit that. Jeez, this is a PS Plus roundup.
But I've played some of the game.
But
it's an absolute must.
In all honesty, Far Cry 3 is in my top 10 of this generation.
Absolutely.
Very comfortably in there as well. Good lord, it's good.
It's fun to explore.
I spent so much time on it.
It's an amazing game, amazing story, but also all the side quests, all the extra little bits thrown in there, they make you want to do it. They make you want to do every little part of it. I'm not one to usually go through all side quests and stuff like that. I'm quite lazy. I just play games for the story generally, and that's it. But Far Cry, I actually wanted to invest like a lot of time into it. Like, it makes you genuinely sort of care for the island, the people on the island. You want to free them of these horrible pirates, and because I think it's just because the horrible things you see that you experience, that you go through yourself, let alone what you see happen to like people on the island and stuff.
It's very weird. It's almost like an ecology in a game. Like, you're kind of like, wow, I'm part of this kind of vibrant island, loads of stuff going on, and and for some reason it kind of encouraged killing animals as well, which I didn't mind, which is very odd.
Somehow okay. It's like, it's a really rare shark, so I've got to skin it.
We're going to end up getting like Peter on our
As soon as you get that bow and arrow though, as well, as soon as you get that bow and arrow, you do like feel one with the jungle. I was like this close to like putting like face paint on before I played the game, just so I can sit there like like I am one with the jungle, and it's so good. Like, especially when you can go with, it gives you lots of options about how you play the game, whether you just want to Rambo it and just go in all guns blazing, or whether you want to like stealth. You want to be a stealth person. You want to go around being undetected and stuff like that. And actually, I don't know about you guys, but I chose the stealth approach because I just felt like I could hide in the trees and all the reeds and all that kind of stuff. And I really felt like I was really there. You know, I was really engaged with it. It's very.
But I mean, like for a very long time, especially with Far Cry 2 and certain other games in the first-person genre, it's been very down the route of like, this is a military shooter, this is the way that. And I remember playing it at Eurogamer last year, and we certainly came away from it thinking, this is, again, I'm not trying to say that it was refreshing in terms of first-person shooter, because there's not much more you can do with that kind of genre, but it just felt so satisfying. The gunplay was amazing, like, it is just...
It was definitely one of the highlights of Eurogamer last year, because that was where I do remember sitting down with you, Rich, didn't we, on the... Was it the last day?
I think
last day in the morning, no queue, just walked straight up to it, picked it up, played it, and I think we were playing the demo for like 10-15 minutes with the headphones on before someone tapped us on the shoulder and was like, yeah, get off now.
Yeah.
There are people that actually want to play it other than you, and you're like, oh...
And that wasn't even any story. That was just free roaming and just picking up little submissions and just exploring.
Yeah, I mean, not since GTA or Red Dead have I felt like
Such
doing that. Yeah, like just running around and just, I don't know, just taking down bases, going liberating radio towers and stuff.
Aside from all the mechanics and the great stories that obviously I can't comment on, but the actual look of the game looks...
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Lovely.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
like really, really good. It's like, you know, those sort of open world games generally will suffer a little bit graphically because of the sheer size of what you're playing through. And then Skyrim, I think, was one of the first games where you kind of went, ooh, that hasn't suffered anything other than just bad lip syncing. And the game is just faultless.
Yeah.
So, you know, to see something like Far Cry and you're kind of like, Christ, there really is hope for like huge open world exploration games still looking, you know, the mutt's nuts.
Yeah. And for a first person shooter, it's nice having those kind of like mild RPG upgrade type things. So you've got a complete like sort of tattoo system where, you know, various perks and stuff like that you can unlock as you go, which is really nice. And obviously you customise all your guns and give them a cool paint job and all that kind of stuff. The guns in it are phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Especially the flamethrower on that one particular level. You get given this flamethrower at one point and you have to go burn all these marijuana
plants while listening to Skrillex.
And Skrillex kicks in, you feel like a complete badass.
It's very cool
like,
indeed.
No stealth at that point, you just all guns blazing, just like, absolute.
You're getting high as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You start going like, oh, just listening to Skrillex.
Like, again, like that whole element where it's not just all kind of set in reality. Like there's points where you take those like kind of drug things, hallucinogenics, and then you fight these giant monsters. You know, these giant kind of like gods with a bow and arrow, and it just
sounds ridiculous.
Brilliant.
But it's good.
It sounds like the scene in GTA 5 when you smoke dope in the street and all of a sudden start shooting aliens.
It just takes it out of that, you know, normal environment for a bit, and that's a real nice break from it.
Yeah.
But there is a hell of a lot to do in that game.
Obviously, going beyond that, they've got Blood Dragon as well, which you don't actually need Far Cry 3 to play. It's a standalone. It's a really unique idea again, because you don't. Yeah, you could just buy that.
Fantastic game.
And it would work on its own. It's phenomenal, absolutely
so
brilliant.
Good. So good.
The whole thing around the whole.
If you,
it's brilliant.
Especially with Blood Dragon, if you are a fan of 80s action, and if you're not, then you don't have a pulse. It's literally like when you plug it in and you go through a tutorial, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to ruin it for you because it's so good, but you know, if you're a fan of 80s action, then you'll love it. It's such a good game, Blood Dragon. It's definitely worth it. I think you can get it for about £10 now on PSN. Or yeah, definitely worth it. Everything about Far Cry 3 is top dollar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be putting my Xbox 360 or the PS3 in the loft when this generation comes in. It is going to just basically go up to my bedroom. I've just got to somehow rearrange furniture with the wife's consent, where I can have the Xbox and the PS3 upstairs. So I'm sure when I eventually get round to putting PS Plus on for PS4, so that basically so I can get Drive Club, then hopefully some of that stuff might still be there on the
It should do. I mean, they usually keep them on there for a good 3 months or something like that, and they do tell you when they're taking games off as well, which is really good.
Yeah,
So
I
it gives you, I better download
lately,
that.
lately it has been just month on, month off.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Okay.
Assassin's from last month has gone now.
Right. Okay.
And so
I have to see if I can maybe get it in a bit quicker then. Because I
Yeah.
must admit, Far Cry, it is just one of those games that I have been meaning to pick up all the time, but there was such a backlog of stuff that I was desperate to play. And it was DMC. I mean, I know that Far Cry came out late last year, but DMC was like early January this year.
Yeah.
And I remember not picking Far Cry up on day one and kind of going, if I don't buy it today, I'm probably not going to pick it up for a while, and then just opted for DMC in the end.
Still a good choice. Still a great game.
That's still in my top 10, possibly top 5 games of the year. It's
Cool.
well, let's do a little roundup of the rest of them then.
Yeah, for Vita. So for Vita there is Street Fighter X Tekken, which I can comment on the 360 version, which I'm presuming is going to be pretty similar.
It's a shame they didn't do the PS3 version.
Yeah.
Like, I was really like, oh, I
was really looking forward to
forward
playing it.
that.
And I was like, download it. Oh, I
It
don't
is-
own the console.
It is a really good game. Like, I mean, I'm presuming it's going to be very, very similar, but just in terms of being able to play Street Fighter 4 without it being, another incarnation of Street Fighter 4, but with Tekken characters is good, and the tag team system works really well. It's just a really solid beat 'em up game. If you like beat 'em up games, then you'd be pretty hard.
Yeah, I think
not to enjoy
beat 'em ups work really well on the Vita as well, and I think based on Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which I've played on the Vita, especially as it's the same as Capcom, so it's going to be a very similar game. So I mean, it worked very well on the Vita, and so did Mortal Kombat. So I think it will suit itself to the Vita very well.
Yeah,
It'll be pretty
Yeah,
and
it's a great game. Well, I've played over yours on the 360. I loved it.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it
brilliant.
was really, really enjoyable.
Great idea. So.
And the other Vita game, I can't think.
Touch My Katamari.
Which just sounds like Japanese porn.
It basically is.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Have you ever played Beautiful Katamari?
No.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just a game about a little guy picking up rubbish and rolling it in a ball, and you have to beat times and scores and
You just get bigger and bigger.
Is this
and
the thing
bigger.
where you can see it, where you use the back screen to squish it and make it longer and stretch it
yeah,
around?
right. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
saw some of that at Eurogamer this year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Queuing up to get into the PS section. There was a really big TV showing all the stuff on PS Network this time round, PS Plus, sorry, and it was
It's great. I mean, I've played a little bit of it. Yeah, it's just fun. I mean, I love Beautiful Katamari. That was the one before the one on the PS3, because there's Katamari Forever, and there's just loads of Katamari games. And I don't know, there's something charming about them that's just beautifully Japanese that only the Japanese could come up with, and it's just bonkers but great. So
Wicked.
yeah, definitely worth a go.
Cool. So those are your titles for October. We're definitely certain it's October this time, so that's fine. So yeah, you can check us out on all the normal social network sites. We've got facebook.com/GamesHud, twitter.com/GamesHud, and youtube.com/GamesHud. So you can click the subscribe button here to keep up to date with all our videos, video reviews, unboxings, and all that kind of stuff. And also check out the main site for all our news and reviews, gameshud.net.